learn how to find cheap film, where to find cheap film, and other ways to sate your lust for film without going broke. There's a saying, stay broke, shoot film, but I don't necessarily agree that it's totally accurate. Sure, there are plenty of expensive films like Cinestill or Portra 800 and things like that. You can easily get by with only spending $4 to $7 per roll, basically. And since it's an extensive list and I need a lot of notes, I'm going to just kind of narrate this and show you a bunch of example photos and some example websites. And so buckle up. I'm going to try to keep this on point, but there's a lot to cover. I've used almost every film I'm going to talk about today, and I like almost every film I'm going to talk about today. So hopefully you'll find that experience to be useful, especially in these kind of sketchy economic times. Our first set of film stocks come from Kodak, and they lead off with the, in my opinion, wonderful Kodak ColorPlus 200, also known as Kodacolor 200. It does not have the deepest shadows, but the colors are very pleasing overall, and I also love cross-processing it and ECN2, as you can see here. ColorPlus usually runs in the $4 to $5 range. Availability is usually decent, but not always, as in right now it's a little harder to find. Next up, we have Kodak Gold and Ultramax. I'm just lumping them together, even though they're not the same. Gold is 200 ISO again, and Ultramax is 400. Kodak Gold and Ultramax tend to be in the $5 to $6 per range, and this improves per roll in 3-packs, which they are both available in. I would suggest getting the 36 roll instead of the 24 roll. 24 might be cheaper, but per shot, it doesn't work out super well. Pro Image 100 is another kind of former import turned new American favorite. Usually runs around $5 something per roll, and it's dirt cheap in 5-packs at $25 for places like FPP and Freestyle. It's a really nice, clean 100 ISO film, although it's not super to my liking, honestly. But looking back at these photos, maybe I should give it another try. Next up, we have a short visit to Fuji land. My favorite by far is Fuji Superia Xtra 400. The 3-packs are by far the best deals in small quantities of color film. You can get them in the $12 range. Freestyle seems to have the best price at this point, although stock is hit and miss. Fuji Superia Color 200 film is technically an even better price deal in these 3-packs, but I just can't really get into it because it's just too green for me. And unfortunately, I don't have much landscape or anything to show you kind of a different type of picture with 400 because we've been in quarantine that long. Next up, we have Ilford. The main one I like to tout from Ilford is HP5, which is just a really wonderful, versatile black and white film stock available in 35, 120, 4x5, 8x10, and bulk loading. More on that in a moment. It usually falls in the $5 to $6 range per roll. You can find it at Freestyle, FPP, Analog Wonderland, almost anywhere that sells film. Next, we have Kodak Tri-X, which is very similar to HP5, although I think it's about $1 more per roll, at least in 35. Still quite affordable, very versatile, very time-tested and trustworthy. I really haven't shot it in almost 9 years, so here are a few frames from Longview photographer Tyler Ellison, who I developed and scanned these for, and he was kind enough to allow me to share them with you so you could see a really nice employment of its latitude and its ability to hold details and shadows and highlights, as evidenced by these very nice portraits. Thanks, Tyler. I always thought it was a little too gritty, but I look at these again and it doesn't bother me so much. I feel like that's the digital effect where for a while photographers were really chasing after extreme perfection and grainlessness and pixellessness. And I think we got there basically on digital, and we realized that it's kind of boring. So a little grain can be really nice sometimes. And in a rumored similar neighborhood, we have Ultrafine Extreme 100 and 400, which are the deals of black and white film. You can buy it in 35mm and 120. 120 runs barely $4 a roll. 35 barely $3 per roll. 35 is sold in bulk, and that is not even $40 for 100 feet, which is roughly 18 rolls of film. And that brings us to a trick also that you can do with mostly black and white film. Like the Ilford films, Foma, Arista, have a bulk loader. You can get one sometimes $15-20 online. You might have one, or you can buy them at FPP or Freestyle in the $50 range and watch some videos like this Matt Day video that's really good, that I will link in the description, and you can save yourself a whole lot of money bulk rolling film. Now, the tough part is finding deals on 120 color film. There's not a lot of 120 color film anyway these days, but per roll, the cost of Lomography's 100 and 400, roughly decent deals in color film, and they're not bad. I know that Lomo 100 is just Kodak Gold. That might be a reason to avoid it in 35mm, but in 120 you can't get gold in 120 anymore from Kodak, so it's kind of nice to have that as an option. And they go in the $20 to $25 per 3-pack range, which isn't too bad. And I've extensively used, 6 rolls, Lomo 400, and it's a very solid film. Etsy has a little thriving film market, but my favorite one is hand-rolled film on there. As you can see here, they have a lot of obscure, usually low ISO films for in the $5 per roll range, and a few of these you're seeing right here, and I've shown off a few of them in videos before, so that's not a bad one. I like them, and they also have this Ortho 4x5 X-ray film, which is dirt cheap. If you like things like this, talking about how to get cheap film and how to do things with film and get comfortable as a photographer in general, film or digital, subscribe, turn on notifications, like the video, comment. Getting cheap film is not only a matter of what film you're buying, but where you're buying the film. Although the big stores, Adorama and B&H, are the best known, they also are not really my go-tos, but they have a couple of nice things about them. They have a decent price range. They're neither the best nor the worst prices out there usually. They're super well established, and you know they take care of their film, and if they have film in stock, they probably have much more of it in stock, so there's that. A personal favorite of mine is Freestyle Photographic, based in California. They have pretty good shipping, even though it's a little slower right now because of COVID-19, but still really pretty good speed. They have really good prices. They usually have stuff in stock. Another personal favorite store of mine is the Film Photography Project. They have really obscure stuff, really interesting rolls, or what do you call it, and just a wide variety of odd formats, all at reasonably decent prices. You know you can trust what they give you, which is a very assuring thing, and you're giving money to a really great cause, a really great group of people who are super dedicated to everything analog film, and they've been going at it for a while now. Yet another favorite is Ultrafine, which I mentioned, their Ultrafine Extreme films. They also sell a bunch of expired stuff that can be super cheap, and they tend to refrigerate all their films, so when you buy expired from them, you're probably buying something that's in new enough shape. And if you stuck around this long, I'll give you my best way of saving money on colored film if you're willing to put up with Ramjet. Ultrafine Online sells 100-foot spools of Kodak's Vision 3 cinema films for less than $90 per 500 feet. This is by far the best deal of anywhere I've seen online, dependably in stock, and they're awesome. So for the cost of some empty canisters, bulk loader, and this film, you can have 18 rolls of film. I particularly like Vision 3 250D and 500T, of course. That's a Cinestill with the rimjet on it still. Analog Wonderland, for those across the pond, often has really nice deals, and they're really cool people, and they're a lot of fun to shop with, and they have loyalty points, which is really handy, and I'm hoping they'll be able to ship to America again soon so I can use mine. They have a solid selection, and they have some stuff that's harder to find in America too. Okay, well, hopefully that's it. Thanks for watching, and thanks for everyone who voted on the poll, which helped me realize that I should do this episode. I'll probably cover all of those episodes at some point, so keep an eye out. Anyway, thanks, and I will see you next week. Stay safe. Bye.